All right. Welcome to the sideboard. My name's Eric, and today we've got another of Dev's decks for you. So, Dev brought us a Sphinx tribal deck, in a way. Kind of a combo deck, uh, but we're going to go over the deck in just a moment. Before that, if you like the channel, I suggest, looking at some of our other content, and then if you do indeed like the channel, give us a subscribe. So let's take a look at the deck here. Starting off, it is a blue-white deck. So we do have the Glacial Fortress, 4 of those, 3 irrigated farmlands, and then everything else is an island. This deck is mainly it is mainly a blue deck as you'll see, but there are some, white cards here. I was a little curious as to why there were no planes at all in the deck, but this is what we got, so this is what we're going to roll with here. 2 drops, we've got Glorybound Initiate, and then from there we've got some counter spells. We've got Censor and Essence Scatter. 3 drops, we've got some answers in Fairgrounds Warden, answers to, other creatures that are hard to deal with. This card's actually really good against Sultai Energy because even if you can get them to remove it, now granted they do have Blossoming Defense, but if you can just get, say, a Long Tusk Cub off the battlefield, even if they remove the Fairgrounds Warden, you've removed all the counters, therefore the energy they spin into it. So you did get them to remove their counters and their energy. Dev, if you do not know who Dev is, please check out SBMTG here on YouTube. Dev is a YouTube content provider, and he provides budget decks, competitive decks, and he's been producing decks for quite some time now. I don't know exactly when he started, but he produces, decks about once or twice a week, and a lot of people like to watch his decks, so everyone was asking for gameplay. So we asked Dev if we could run them, and here we are. So yeah, the guy on the couch, SBMTG. So anyway, moving on down our 3 drops, we've got Sun Scourge Champion. I was talking about this deck being answers. This is a really good answer to red deck, and red deck is really prevalent in the meta right now, but this also helps against other things that can pressure your life total early, like Mardu vehicles and things of that nature. So Sun Scourge Champion's really good. Also, the first part of our combo here in our 3 drops. Now this is Arcane Adaptation. Once you call or play this and call Sphinx, then at that point every card in your deck is a Sphinx card, and every creature is a Sphinx. So when it enters the battlefield, it will be a Sphinx. We'll get to that in a moment. Another card here, we have Champion of Wits. You probably already know all about Champion of Wits. Really, really good card. Allows us to, cycle through our hand, and get the cards that we need so that we can play a more competitive game. Now, moving on up into our 5 drops here, or 4 drops, we have 2 copies of Cast Out and 2 copies of Vizier of Many Faces. Now, if you watch anything that happened in the Shanghai event, you'll know that Yuya Watanabe played 4 copies of this in his Teamer Energy deck. Vizier of Many Faces is really, really good right now. So I was really happy to see the inclusion of Vizier of Many Faces in this particular deck. So really excited to play with that. Then we have Angel of Sanctions. Now, also another really good card that has seen some major play. If you watched Pascal Maynard's performance, he had copies of, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 3 Angel of Sanction and 4 Fairgrounds Warden in his sideboard as a plan against certain strategies. Here we've basically got that strategy main board ready to roll, so that's a really good tactic to take against certain decks, and I think it's really good against Sultai and really good against Teamer as long as you can deal with the Hydra. And then here we go on our 6 drop, the big daddy of them all, Unesh, Criosphinx Sovereign. Now, Unesh, I'll just read Unesh for you. Unesh has flying. It's a Sphinx spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. When Unesh Criosphinx Sovereign or another Sphinx enters the battlefield under your control, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So this is kind of like a fact or fiction, but not. The cards are going to go to the graveyard, and we're not actually getting 5 cards. So Unesh has a fairly unique ability, but we're going to call it a baby fact or fiction. So just to shorten that up. So I know some people are going to be like, it's not fact or fiction, but all right, we're going to call it a baby fact or fiction. Okay, so the cool part about that is the cards you don't want go to your graveyard. And if you'll notice, most of these cards have Eternalize and things of that nature. So we're going to get a lot of usage out of that. Now, that's about as in-depth as I'm going to go with the main deck. If you want to see the full deck tech, check out, it's in the description box. I think it's the 3rd or 4th link. I don't know. But it's under deck tech, and it'll take you straight over to SBMTG, and you can watch the actual deck tech from there. Real quick, we'll look at the sideboard and see what we have for combating the meta here. Now, 3 negates, most played card in the entire format right now. Even though it's in the sideboard of all the decks, it is the most played card. Moving forward, we have we have this guy. I can pronounce Unesh, but not this one. But our other Vizier here. And this is going to allow our Embalm tokens and our Eternalized tokens to get a little extra value as they're getting in. Crook of Condemnation. Now, this is really, really good because it allows us to pick at the graveyard, and then in emergency situations just deal with the graveyard altogether. If they have an active Scarab God, then it might be better that we just get rid of our Embalm creatures or something like that. But otherwise, we can just kind of pick at the cards that they're trying to get. Now, most of the time, if they have an active Scarab God, they wait till they get to 8 mana, then they go for something, and then you end up having to sack everything in response to it, and then they actually get something out anyway. So, it's kind of iffy on how Crook works, and just depends on if we're running up against some control decks, if we're going to be able to take that strategy or not. We do have a piece that I have been talking about for a while now. Like, everyone needs to be running enchantment removal, and white has some really good enchantment removal right here in Forsake the Worldly. If we don't need it, we can always cycle it away. Also really good against artifacts, not just enchantments, but this card's going to be really, really good for us. Now, it's not like Appetite, where Appetite will give you some life, but we do get to cycle this away in a pinch. And then an additional copy of Sunscourge Champion, because, the Red Menace is exactly that. Ixalan's Binding, because it's the perfect answer to almost every permanent period that you need to deal with. A 3rd copy of Vizier of Many Faces. And then, I know a lot of you are excited about this, 2 Rivers Rebuke. Also, really, really good card against the Scarab God. So, or anything that is bringing back tokens and things of that nature. Plus, if we can fill our board up, remember, if we call and make everything a Sphinx, all of these things cost 2 less to cast, thanks to Unesh's Sphinx costs 2 less to cast ability. So, that's the deck. Let's get into some games. Remember, if you want to play this deck or any other deck in Standard, check the link below, and you can go to Manatraders.com, and they will allow you to rent cards from them, so you can play anything on MTGO. I know a lot of people don't want to have like multiple collections. Like, you don't want to have a collection in paper and a collection online. So if you don't want to do that, just rent the games and go from there. Alright, well, we've got an opponent, so let's get right into it. We've also won the die roll, so we'll choose to play first. Now, we do have a fairly decent control hand, but we don't have any real action here. I know we need to survive late, but this is a lot of lands, and the deck is full of lands. I think I'm going to mulligan because I need more than just 2 action cards here. Okay, so this is better. I like this a little bit better. So we're going to keep this Glorybound Initiate on top. I'm going to go ahead and put that on top. And since I know another land is not coming, we're going to go ahead and play the Irrigated Farmlands to just guarantee that we're getting to 3. And then Woodland Stream. Not a card I would expect to see. I'm going to go ahead and play the Glacial Fortress. And we're going to try to get aggro here, as we do have the ability next turn to play a Fairgrounds Warden to clean up anything that he puts in front of us here. Okay, so Drover of the Mighty, we have some sort of Dino deck here. Well, let's just get in and see what he does. Because it's a Dino deck, I think we're going to exert. Plus, I want to make sure that this lives. So we'll just play it like this and see if we can counter a Ripjaw Raptor here. Always play River's Rebuke. Yeah, I knew you'd be happy to see the River's Rebuke. Anyone who doesn't know, shout out to Ryan from Behind Dice Gaming. He's another content provider. Ooh, Deathgorge Scavenger. Well, we can't counter that. But if we do counter it, he doesn't swing at us for 3. I think we just let it hit. I mean, we're okay with taking the 3. We gained the life earlier. The big worry was actually him having the Dino Fight card. Okay, so there's our Unesh. We just need to get our Sphinx card now. So we will play Fairgrounds Warden. And we're going to remove his mana source. And we'll pass the turn. Walking Ballista for 2. Okay, he's just going to go ahead and shoot that. And we'll take the 3 here. I think we cycle Sensor. Maybe not. Let's cycle Sensor. So we did get another land, and yet another land. So we will be casting out something this turn. Let's go ahead and attack. Hi, Mark. Well, so far it's going fairly well. This is game one of match one, so we'll see momentarily how well it goes. We are about to play an Unesh, which is really good for us. Like that will be good for allowing us to refill our hand. We will go ahead and cast out this. Ooh, blown out by a blossoming defense. Ouch. We take a lot of damage here. Down to 12. I know what's wrong. I didn't fix the lands. I didn't fix the lands. Okay, so 4 cards. The opponent puts them into 2 piles. It would be tempting to play Vizier of Many Faces as a copy of Unesh, just to draw more cards. The opponent has to put them in piles, though. I don't think he knows what he's doing, or this is the headache factor of Factor Fiction. Me too, Mark. I think it's a really great card. Okay, so he figured out what he was wanting to do. So we get to pick a pile. I need to read this just to make sure. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So we want Vizier and Essence Scatter. I mean, if we wanted to, we'll copy Fairgrounds Warden. And next turn we have enough mana to cast Vizier and leave up Essence Scatter. So I assume he's trying to remove Unesh. Okay, so he's going to gain control of Unesh. That's not cool. Well, we take 4 here. So again, we can play this and leave up. So let's go ahead and play the Vizier, and we'll copy Unesh. We will headache our opponent. So it is kind of a control deck, which is it's kind of a combo deck, kind of a control deck. So the deck has a combo style to it. Wow, Censor and Essence Scatter. It does not help us deal with what we currently have on the battlefield, though, does it? This would allow us to put more out. Censor would allow us to draw a card this turn. I'm going to go with Censor. So we will play the untapped source and pass the turn. So he doesn't untap this turn as far as his lands go. Now, here we do have to... Oh, he does not attack us. Okay, so we will cycle the Censor. We get another land. We'll cycle the Irrigated Farmland. Champion of Wits, okay. And Arcane Adaptation. So let's do this. Hope it lands. We'll call Sphinx. Okay, we're going to see if this goes off, guys. So we will cast a Champion of Wits for 1 mana. And we will put Champion of Wits on the stack first, so we get our extra cards here off the Unesh before we actually have to discard. So now he has to give us cast out another Unesh, which will keep the Unesh. This is what the deck is supposed to do, so here we go. Game 1, it is going to fire here. Alright, so we now have lands to discard to this Champion of Wits. And we will discard both of those. We'll play a land for the turn. We've already played a land for the turn. Okay, so 1 white. We will Fairgrounds Warden. And he's going to scoop it up. So when the deck goes off, the deck just goes off. That's going to be so much fun today, guys. Like, wow. All right. So what do we want? I mean, he's got some dinosaurs. He's Simic. I haven't seen a lot of Simic decks running around, but he's some kind of Simic dinosaurs. Vizier seems really good if he has the big dino. River's Rebuke might be decent to get rid of the huge dino. He's Simic, so I'm assuming some amount of negates come in. I'm going to take out Censor for negate. Although he seemed pretty creature heavy, didn't he? I wonder... I mean, we can keep in the 4 Essence Scatters for creature counter. I think some of our targeted removal is going to be a little weak, and we did bring in our River's Rebuke, so we did up the converted mana cost of the deck a little, which I'm not worried about because the deck is built to get to 6 mana. Like, more than anything else, I'm worried about flooding, which is going to happen when you have to run this type of lands, but went better than expected, right? Well, that's combo for you, man. Once you untap with the Unesh, and if you get that Arcane Adaptation, it's all you need is a creature. So we want to keep our cheap creatures here. I think the deck could probably use an additional copy of Arcane Adaptation, but oh man, so Censor's part of our draw package. The deck wasn't that fast, so I'm going to cut 2 Sunscourge Champions. And we'll go like this. Yeah, 26 lands. Okay, so well, even though we don't want 2 copies of Arcane, we've got nothing. We've got nothing. We've got 4 land. I mean, can we survive till 6? Start cycling on. We can cycle on 2. We'll cycle on 2. We'll start trying to draw some cards. We'll go from there. Okay, so there's a champion. All right. This is not horrible hand. It's starting to mold up. He's not really doing anything either. Another champion. It's about as much as you can ask for right there. Now, I know we need our double white, but I'm going to cycle anyway. We did cut down on our double white spell. Oh, he did not hit his third land drop. Okay, guys, we need to capitalize. Let's say that he went for some type of control against us. Maybe he can't counter the creature. Perfect. Alright, so this is great because we... Man, if he is... So let's discard a Champion of Wits. And an Essence Scatter. We're going to go for it. And make him answer our Arcane Adaptation. And then we're just going to kind of see if we can make it to our combo before he can stop us here. I could have thrown one of these away, but I expect to be casting them back to back for the next 2 turns, getting them countered. So we're going to gotta go from that. And let's just play the Glacial Fortress, so we can play around Censor at least. And let's see if he's got the negate. And no negate. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll get in for 2, pass the turn. Right, right. Like, we have ways to just pitch those lands, and it's more important to flood than it is to not get lands. Like, I want to say that other term we use in Magic, but it's not family friendly. Okay, so I want to keep this to guarantee I have a creature after Unesh. Do we just play another Arcane Adaptation just to guarantee we have it? Or do we save that card as a pitchable card later? Oh. Or do we just Fairgrounds Warden, remove the Rampaging Raptor, and get in for 2? I think that adds to our board a little bit more. It also removes a dinosaur from his side of the field, so we're going to go that route. Worst case scenario, we just... Well, when we play the first Unesh, we're going to get to look at some cards. So hopefully in 4, we'll find a creature. We do... Wait, we have 1 land too few here. Okay. There's a Champion of Wits. That's going to help us get that land we need. So let's play Champ. Okay, so we did get the land. We only need the 1. We have our Arcane Adaptation down. And then we'll pitch the land, play the land, and unfortunately now we have to pass the turn. We're not really worried about what he plays this turn, as next turn the only thing we're worried about is trying to land this Unesh. Fodder for the Naga. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we kept the extra copy of it now, because we did end up pitching it, and that allowed us to keep both copies of our Unesh and our River's Rebuke. And River's Rebuke might be really good on a deck that is kind of choking on lands right now. And he's tapped down to 1. Oh, and we hit our 7th, so we can... Okay. Well, I don't think there's a card in Standard that can stop this. Oh, Oh my. Oh my. Well, we're going to take the two that match. And we've already played our land for the turn. Okay. Well, we'll see if he tries to gain control of our Unesh. Alright, he's just going to kill it. Alright. So he's got 6 cards in hand. He still doesn't swing in. Okay. Well, I think Unesh just gets countered now that he has 3 lands open. So let's River's Rebuke. Or do we just attack and cast Champion of Wits from the graveyard? Let's play River's Rebuke. In honor of you, Ryan. Alright, so we'll attack. And we've played our land for the turn. We could cycle this cast out, but we basically just want him to replay his cards here so that he's tapped out. Okay, Drover. And now he has to discard. We're going to keep cheesing this. And we're going to get in for 5. I'm going to cycle this main phase. Okay. We go for it next turn. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So next turn we can play the... Oh, wow. Did he really? I'm sorry, guys. We're going to be doing something else here. We're going to make him kill something. The beautiful part about this is we have to make him answer what's currently on the board. If he doesn't answer that, then we just kill him outright. I don't want to just pass here. I don't want to just waste that. Let's go for it. You feel better, buddy? Alright, he got to use his Essence Scatter, guys. So, tap out for Ripjaw. We'll go ahead and force his hand here on the Ballista. Okay, so he shoots that. And that should be lethal, guys. So, hi Crispy, welcome to the show. Well, we just won match 1, 2-0 against Simic Dinos. Alright. Sweet. We'll get right back into another here. Ah, we missed it. Okay, so we won the dice roll again. Alright, so we've got some control. How are we looking here on land? Bunch of 3-drops. We can do some counter. We can actually try to get out early if we want. The land's going to come in smooth. We have our white source. Let's keep it. We've got 26 lands. So our odds of drawing land are extremely good. Four-color humans. Okay, so I'm going to glory bound this turn. And we're actually going to try to be a little aggro. So we 2-0'd our first opponent, and I was pretty happy with that. We'll take the one here. We got the Sphinx combo off in game 1, and game 2 the opponent got a little, he got a little land. Like, he didn't draw enough lands, and he just never could recover from it. We got off a River's Rebuke. He was forced to just maintain 2 lands open, so it just really wasn't great for the opponent there. Now, he did not get a +1 off his Explore trigger. So I think we're going to Fairgrounds Warden this Merfolk. And then we're just going to attack. No exert. Well, one of the things I like about the deck is the deck runs some really powerful cards. So I like that. The deck is definitely, you know, putting in work for us here. So all right, he's not going to swing. If we glory bound, we can keep up Essence Scatter. Is this a green-white Saram deck? Green-white tokens, maybe? Let's see if we can get away with this. I'm expecting some kind of Blossoming Defense or something like that. We will attempt it. Yeah, there's going to be the Blossoming Defense. Okay. At least we have much better information now. And that lets us know we will not be attacking this turn. This deck needs Crested Sunmare. Well, how do we gain life, though? I mean, like, yeah, I know we do have... Well, this is how we gain life. Alright, fair enough. This is only on Enter the Battlefield, though. Okay. So, the beautiful part about our deck here... We're gonna sacrifice this Glorybound Initiate. The beautiful part about our deck here is... it's got a top end that is unlike what they're expecting here. We're going to exert because we need to get a little more, become a little more powerful. We have no reason to not swing with that guy. And if he wants to triple block to get a Merfolk back, are we okay with that? If he triple blocks, we get through with 4 more. Or not triple block, but double block to do the 3 damage. Man, if he does that, we're okay with it, right? Or if he single blocks and then uses another card. Yeah, I'm good with it. He can have his merfolk back. About 50%, right, Crispy? Well, I mean, that's the meta right now. 50% energy, 50% things that want to beat energy, or people that just don't want to play energy. I actually think sweepers are at, like, their best right now. So many... You do need to be able to worry about, if your game plan is sweepers, the #1 played card in the meta right now is Negate. And you need to worry about that. So if your game plan is sweepers, then be prepared for a blowout and some game 2s if you're going to have to wait till like turn 3 or 4. And then if you're going to have to wait till like turn 3 or 4 before you actually, how do I say it, start removing creatures, or actually turn 4 or 5, you know, settle the wreckage. I'm thinking of Sweltering Suns, though. A lot of decks are running Sweltering Suns. So, okay, so wow, he's not playing creatures. I was hoping to counter a creature last turn, but it looks like he's just going to keep trying to make dudes here. So we're going to play this, gain a little bit of life. He can make a 3/3. No point in attacking right now. Really need to remove this thing. River's Rebuke out of the side is going to be good against this deck. So we have none of our... You can't just say they're unoriginal because they have energy in them. I mean, I went 3-0 yesterday with a Sultai Reanimator deck that was energy, but it was a good 15-20 cards off of, you know, the normal Sultai deck. No... Wow, really? So he's just going to beat us down with this thing. That's bad for us, guys. That is bad for us. He's taken my line where, you know, if you don't have to add more to the board, you don't add more to the board. So he can make a 4/4 this time to block this if he wants. But we gained 4 and we took his mana for that turn, so we should probably be swinging with more. Well, we're going to counter it because I don't know when he's going to play another spell. I mean, he waited until he has enough to activate this and play his card. So he's playing really good against us, or really well. So I'm going to present more pressure. So he gets to kill this, take 2. We can then next turn discard, like say a land or something if we draw it, because we now have our 6 lands, so we can play Unesh if we do draw an Unesh. Okay, so he gets his Merfolk back. Alright. We're still at a pretty healthy life total here. However, now he starts making... I should have countered that. Definitely should have countered the Adorned Pouncer. He's got 3 cards in hand. I highly expect that one of them is Blossoming Defense, but we're going to try to remove this now. Okay, so we will use its ability. And we're not good at blocking with this. Like, I would rather just gain more life, but however, at this point, he's punching back for 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 right now. 16. Double strike. Ooh. Alright. So we're actually only on a 2-turn clock if we can't profitably block here. And I can't counter that, so. Wow. Green-white tokens, huh? It's like that. Well, that flips. We'll move to blocks. We'll block here. Block here. We'll take 6. Okay, we would really like to have like Unesh off the top. That's not an Unesh. Okay, how do we do this? We're still at 25. We're going to swing in here. We should have swung with the angel. Oh. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I would have swung with the angel. We would have been looking at doing much more lethal attacks next turn. Oh, wow. I didn't realize how low we had him and what we had in hand. So that's a big punt on my side. Energy really is good, guys. I mean, it is most of the meta. And, I mean, just think about it. Our normal hand is, our normal resources in a match are, you have your cards in hand and your mana and your life total. Now, energy gets to add an entire new resource to that. Like, when they can spend something like life to produce a Thopter or to produce a Blossoming Defense on a creature. When, okay, so we're going to cycle this. We're going to cycle another one. We'll play our land. Okay, so we will get in for 3 here. And we'll pass the turn. So we do have him on a clock. If he can't get in the air, probably should have countered that. Sure, we'll counter it. Should have countered the other one, but we'll counter this one. Oh, good heavens. So this will be 8. That's pretty decent. What do we remove? Adorn Pouncer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does he have anything that can give lifelink? Well, he's not going to be using that. 0 cards in hand, so I think it's the Adorn Pouncer with its first strike, or with its double strike. I mean, either one's a token and it just goes away. This is going to create something a little too slow. So yeah, we'll take the Pouncer. We'll swing with the Angel. He can block here. Okay, we just keep up our current clock. Does he have a settle? There's no way he's got a... Okay, he's just gonna Danto. That does not... That gives him an entire extra turn. So... Eek. I know, but he's getting these lifelink creatures. How's that for? What did he... Oh, he hashed up Oasis. See, it's kind of funny. Alright, so he gains 4 here. We're going to block here and here. I mean, he still has his dunes, so he can put a lot of... Like, he's not done here. I doubt he's going to pay 4 life to make these indestructible before damage is done, though. Alright, come on, Angel. So, right now, I really don't... Ooh. Oh, that was good. Man, that was good. We're going to copy the Angel. We take this, right? Like, we just need to be done with these giant 6/6s. And then that gives us 2 flyers. Okay, so Blossoming Defense. And we'll get in for 3 here. Now we're presenting 6 damage next turn. I don't know what he has. Okay, just another. So he can gain 4 more life next turn if he cracks his dunes. And it will present a lot of damage towards us. However, we are going to block with the... No, we're not. Do we? I guess it depends on how he swings. I assume he's sacking the dunes here. Oh. Another hash up Oasis. Okay, so he's going to hit us for 10 and only leave back small dudes that can chump. We'll take it. That's good for us. So we're going to attack out. I think this is right. So we attack out. He has to... There's just no point in attacking out, is there? Other than gaining life. We'll play the champion. Again, if we draw a land, we're going to play the Sunscourge champion out of our graveyard. So he makes another lifelinker. Wow, this is a just boring game. Just brutal back and forth here. He does have some big bodies, though. Most of token games are boring. Yeah. We've hit none of our combo. He knows nothing about our combo. I actually expect he thinks that we are a Oketra's Monument deck that just hasn't gotten the Monument. Well, Sphinx would be great, right? Another 4/4 flyer. So we just stopped the most damage here, right? So if we stop 7, stop 6 more. Do we stop 6, or do we just gain 4 next turn? I mean, then we wouldn't have a blocker for the following turn. We stop 6. Okay. We don't have any ways to live through an alpha swing here. Is this the right play? Everything will not be a Sphinx. Do we discard this? Or either way, the opponent's going to get the information that we're playing Sphinxes. I kind of think we need to block this turn. Yeah, we're going to play it and draw some cards here and see if we can find something else. So do we want Cast Out or do we want Angel of Sanctions? Angel? More flyers, right? I mean, we can cycle the Cast Out now. Okay, so we cycle the Cast Out now. We have 2 lands that we can start discarding to gain more life. Okay. Cast the Angel out of the graveyard anyway. So he's out of lifelink, save 2. I'm going to go into blocker mode here. And we're going to pray we survive this next swing. Uh-oh, Mario just died. I don't know if I'm going to cycle or not. It just depends on what happens here. Resilient Kenra. Does that give trample? Okay. He's just going to gain more life. Alright, so we're going to block the life linker, block 7 damage, take 7 damage. Okay. Now, I can't. Okay, so there's a glory bound. Ooh, I should have discarded that. I'm so sorry, I should have discarded that. Guess I can discard glory bound because that's more what we need. So let's go 1, 2. Now we can't cast out. 3, 4. Discard glory bound, or yeah, glory bound. Sunscourge Champion, and we're going to cast Vizier of Many Faces. Cancel that. Go to combat. I'm going to swing 4. I'm going to cast Vizier of Many Faces. And I don't know what we copy. Copy a 7/7 token. Sunscourge Champion, gain 4 more. Unesh, draw cards. Angel, remove something. I'm gonna make the wrong play here. I just don't know what it is. I think it's Unesh, draw more cards. But do we just die next turn? Maybe not. Okay, so I'll keep the token version because I need the blocker, and we're gonna draw a bunch of cards. See if we can get our way out of this. Oh really? You're gonna give me all of those? Okay. I have 1 land open. I'll keep the cast out and the sensor. I'm gonna cycle sensor now. Hey, we just need to live. Sure, I'll just take the full pile. Am I just dead here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're dead. If he swings out, we're dead. Oh, say go. Say go before you do the math. Don't do the math. Oh, he's gonna do the math. He did the math. Okay, he did the math. So we block absolutely all the big things. We still just die. Okay, so we'll jump into the sideboard here. Quickly bring in those River's Rebuke that we know we're going to want. Squeeze tokens. I think Vizier is really, really good in this deck. Oh, man. We do need to maintain some removal, though. We have to be able to deal with that little dude. Glorybound Initiate was really good. I'm going to reduce 2 Essence Scatters here. I'm going to keep Essence Scatter in, but reduce it a little bit. Maybe we don't need Vizier. I'd rather have Vizier than Cast Out in this matchup. So we're gonna go back like that. Oh, it applies. There's a card that says that you can copy and the legend rule doesn't apply, but I forget what card that is. But we're not running that one. Well, we're gonna have to play our white source here. This is okay. We'll keep. Sensor's really good on the play. He's gonna mulligan to 5. So does this green-white deck just really hinge on that legendary creature? Alright, so we'll play this, pass the turn, and I don't know if we want to come out with just a Glorybound and get to swinging. Glorybound, Champion of Wits. If so, we don't have a lot of benefit to hang out with the Censor, so let's start gaining life here. Or maybe actually just start swinging like we did last time. Get as aggro as we can before he can get set up. Okay, he's got an Adorned Pouncer. We'll exert. And now we can play our Champion of Wits. We will draw and discard. So we got another Unesh. I'm going to keep this Censor because I really need, although we need land. Have to hit that land. Although we can cycle the Censor next turn, I guess here. Sakimasha. Well, they both actually enter the battlefield, or they see each other enter the battlefield, so they'll both trigger. Well, we are definitely going to trade our champion here. We'll stop that 4 points of damage. And I definitely think we're going to have to go for, Unesh combo. So we need to start drawing some cards. Adorned Pouncer with, like First Strike doesn't matter, but with the enchantment on it, that's pretty decent. So Censor is definitely quickly losing its value here. So we're going to go ahead and cycle that. There's a Vizier and a River's Rebuke. I feel much, much better about that. So let's go ahead and attack. I kind of expect that he is leaving up mana for cast out? I mean, I can't play anything this turn unless it's Vizier. I just don't know what I would copy. I think it might be better to just wait a turn. If we get a land next turn, then that'll be amazing, because then we can just play an Unesh and then draw some more cards. And if we get too threatening, or if we are too threatened here by Adorned Pouncers and such, we can River's Rebuke. Definitely want to hold off on the River's Rebuke as long as I can, especially now that he's going to try to get into this mode of creating dudes. So we just need to hit a land off the top here. Alright, we got it. And that is why it runs 26 lands, guys. That's why it runs 26. And bam. So he'll know about one, but he won't know that we have the other. Because we'll throw Vizier in the graveyard and keep River's Rebuke. Okay, so he just gives us... Oh, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having the lands. Alright, well, we might be able to get our combo going on here. Like, that is going to be pretty good for us. So he Ixalan's Bindings the Unesh. We River's Rebuke. I'm regretting taking that cast out now. So yeah, we just River's Rebuke here. This will give us another Unesh trigger. I mean, granted, he gets to recast everything again, but I'm okay with that. So we'll take... So I think we have to take cast out here, no matter what. I mean, as sad as that sounds, because we have to be able to deal with the... Okay, he's discovering that we have to have cast out. And we'll go ahead and get into combat here. Not going to exert, because he has to spend his mana next turn, like, placing more either control on this Unesh, or like, he either has to control this Unesh or rebuild his board state, and he doesn't really have enough mana to do all things. I mean, he's going to be able to play his 1 mana, and he can play 2 cards. Okay, so there's one. Adorned Pouncer, maybe? No? Okay, so he's going to play the Ixalan's Binding, deal with the Unesh. So next turn we have to cast out the Binding. Angel hits permanent too. Does it? Oh, you are right. And that can go in the graveyard though, so I guess I could have went that route then. I'm sorry. I just seen that this line should work. And let's count our manas. We have 8. So we need 4 to cast this out and 3 to play Arcane Adaptation. And 1 to play Fairgrounds Warden. I think we have it. Alright, so let's go 1, 2, 3. And we will play... you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and float it. Oh, I messed up there. Now we can't play the Fairgrounds Warden. We already played a land for the turn. We'll call Sphinx. And we're going to exert and pass the turn. So I've played around with this deck a little too much. Our time's running a little low, so I'm going to try to speed up the play here a little bit. Oh, he does have his pump. No life gain for us. Okay, so he gets an Adorn Pouncer. He gets in this, we're going to cycle Sensor. We'll take the 5. And okay, so we get an angel, we get a bunch of things. So we'll play our land. We're going to play Fairgrounds Warden. It is some Seth level jank. Like it's pretty good. So we'll take this dude. Let him pick what he wants. Sure, we'll take the Essence Scatter. Fairgrounds Warden goes off. We'll pay 1 white. Glorybound Initiate. This is where the deck gets stupid, guys. This is where the deck gets stupid. Now, we're probably going to lose on time here, but that doesn't mean the deck's not losing. Alright, so we'll just draw these. Fairgrounds Warden. And we'll take your land. He sorts. We'll pick. Sure. We'll let that happen. We'll play both of these. Copying Fairgrounds Warden. We'll grab that. We'll take Champion of Wits, whatever pile he puts those in. We'll cast Champion of Wits. We have to wait for this to resolve. We'll cast Champion of Wits. So this is what the deck does. Like, at this point, you know, Headache City for the opponent. Doesn't matter what we keep. So we draw 2, discard 2. I mean, we could deck ourselves if we wanted to, but we're not going to. So we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of a land. And do we have another blue spell we want to cast? We'll cycle this. Sure. Because we can. And we'll attack him. Land. Unesh. There we go. So he has to put a lot on the battlefield this turn. I will. It's a Vizier of Many Faces. Fairgrounds Warden. We'll jump in front of that. And that. He's going to cycle, and that should be game. So this deck's some serious jank, guys. Like, no lie, this deck is wow. I think we just go to combat here. Okay, so he paid 4 to make it indestructible. He's going out like a champ. Well, we're going to lose out on time here, so unfortunately that's all right. Well, I mean, we'll get a chance to see what a game 3 would have been like, but I definitely played the deck way too slow. Spent way too much time. I mean, the deck is a little slow playing, but yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to play a game. We'll try it though. Well, we'll keep. Okay, so we're going to play this. We're going to pass the turn. Next turn, we're going to cycle a farmland. So we'll play that. We will cycle the farmland, pass the turn. Okay, so he plays Resilient Kenra. He's getting in for 5. We're going to play that, play Arcane Adaptation, call Sphinx. And then next turn we'll just play, Sunscourge Champion. Oh, you got Tocatli. Tocatli Honor Guard's pretty good here. Yeah, Tocatli Honor Guard is definitely a underrated card. Like, all of these cards that we have here, none of them are going to do anything now. So, like, they enter the battlefield, we're not, like, it shuts down this combo. So, Tocatli Honor Guard. Well, guys, that is going to be game 2. I'm going to go ahead and scoop it up, give it to the opponent here. He He's clearly got us outboard stated. So we're going to go ahead and scoop that up, and we will get into the next game here. Now, that third game, I wouldn't put a lot of credit into that. I kept a hand that we probably shouldn't have kept, you know, things of that nature, because we'd kind of given up. We knew we only had 1 minute to play the game. So let's go ahead and get into our last game here, game 3, or match 3. I like this deck a lot. Like, this deck's really, really good as far as like how it competes without even getting its combo online, which is probably what I like best about jank decks. Like, they need to be able to be competitive, or at least semi-competitive, when not online, you know, when the combo or the engine is not online. I guess I shouldn't say that about combo decks. I should say engine decks. I'm going to say that this is an engine deck with, you know, that engine being the combination of the two cards, I guess. When I think of combo decks, I think of decks that just instantly win. We don't have white. We do have part of our combo, but we have nothing else. I mean, we can turn 2 Essence Scatter. Let's mulligan. This looks better. And we get a scry. I mean, our opponent is just letting his clock tick down here. Yeah, well, I definitely don't have Seth's speed and ability to deal with watching chat and playing the game at speed. So I'm definitely gonna have to get some more practice at that. It's not a. I spend a little too much time talking about the decks most of the time, and I should probably press, you know, F8 more often, but I don't like doing that, as I'll get to talking and not realize when it skips to attack. Wow, okay, opponent. Really? So we're going to get inactivity here for this one. I would almost start up another game. Wow. Can we play 2 at a time? We can't do that, can we? Maybe. Hello? Opponent. Zoso93. Calling you out, man. Accept your cards. Let's play Magic. Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to say this is not a really stream-friendly deck, as, you know, the deck plays fairly slow, and you definitely have to, you know, pay attention to what you're doing here. I'm trying to keep the punt level to a minimum. Most of my punts come in from tapping the wrong land, though. Like, I shouldn't have tapped that white source earlier. Especially in this deck where you just don't have a lot of white sources. What have we got? 7? We have double white on cards in the deck, but yet we have 7 white sources. And we haven't been really hurting on white sources, so that's kind of interesting. Although, you throw this in the graveyard, it's single white. Okay, opponent. How long is it before he times out due to inactivity? I think it should have more planes. I don't think... Oh, he kept... Alright, so... I'm going to keep. There's a 4th land on top. We'll put that on the bottom. And we'll pass the turn. Yeah, I know that was a second white source, and we were just talking about that, but I might end up pitching this Angel of Sanctions in the graveyard anyway. We don't know yet. Wow. Like, what is going on here? So he took his turn, finally. Am I going to regret the white sources? I don't know. We'll find out. Might just pitch them to the... Oh, wow. Blue-black control? Oh, yeah. We counter that. We will play our land. Play our Champion of Wits. Draw 2, discard 2. It's okay. We're going to pitch the Angels, as I think this is control. Now, if we do not hit a land next turn, I'm going to play the Champion of Wits. If we do hit a land, we're going to go with the Glory Bound. Alright, so we play the Champion. Alright, so this is actually just Soul Tie. I thought it was control, but it's actually just Soul Tie. Or Pirates, or mid-range. Okay, so we can get rid of one of these. I think we're going to want that sensor. We'll play our land. And we're going to get in for 2 here. So he's not going to block. Okay. The Sloth from Zootopia, yeah. Okay, that is a Rishkar. So we are 100% going to have to combo out on this guy. I think I'm going to cycle the sensor. Or are we looking at Scarab God next turn? I mean, even though he could play the Scarab God and still have these 2 dudes to pay for the sensor, I think we're going to cycle it. Land? Okay, so we get another sensor, and I'm going to tell him what we are here. Oops. Sphinx. And we will pass the turn. We'll just sit back for blockers this turn. Yeah, I think this is a Constrictor deck. I mean, you normally see 4 Constrictors, 2 Rishkars, so I would assume this is the Sultai Energy Constrictor deck. Until I had seen green or Attune, I just thought it was like the Pirates or the blue-black mid-range. And then as soon as we seen green, that made it definitely the Sultai Energy deck. Or 4-color control, maybe we just haven't seen that. Or 4-color teamer. We're going to double block Rishkar here. We'll take the 4. And Rogue Refiner. Okay, well, we're going to cycle another sensor. We'll wait for it though. He may have another card he wants to play, like Long Tusk Cub or something, just to finish this off. And we'll cast that. We should probably cycle it because we need more things to be able to answer this, but wow. So we drew a land. And we don't have our double white, so oh wait. We don't need double white. Now, unfortunately, this is just an embalm token, and he's just going to be able to fatal push this next turn. But that's what we've got. There you go. That's what we had. That's all we could do, and we'll do it again next turn. Angel didn't need double white mana. We'd already pitched it. I'd forgotten. And we do's it again. And I'm sure he just fatal pushes. That, or he'll swing next turn and Blossoming Defense. Okay, so yeah, we're just dead here. Alright, we'll go to the next game. Okay, so Sultai. River's Rebuke is really good because they spend the energy putting... Wow, just River's Rebuke and everything, huh? Is Ryan still here? River's Rebuke and everything. Negate, maybe, probably Vizier. They have Scarab Gods, they have, you know, Hostage Takers, things of that nature. We probably want Ixalan's Binding, considering this is the matchup we brought it in for. We're going to be on the play, so I like Censor. Not 100% fond of Glory Bound. Maybe it's actually Sun Scourge we should cut back on and bring the Glory Bound, at least a few of the Glory Bounds back. I don't think so. I don't think this is what we want here. Let's run it back like this. So we brought in the River's Rebuke, the Ixalan's Bindings, and the additional Vizier. And we will be on the play. It's not great, but we're going to keep it. So next turn we can start countering creatures. His deck doesn't run any 1-drop creatures. If it's the... Now you can... Oh, Embalm the Champion. I probably messed up hardcore on that last game, I say. Well, we do have part of our combo here. So we just need to get to the lands to do it. Okay, so unfortunately we're going to have to cycle this cast out. Probably should have done that last turn. And then we're going to cycle the Censor too. We're digging for that land. No land. We're going to be way behind on this one, guys. Here comes a Rogue Refiner. No, Glint Sleeve. Okay, so he used his energy. Oh, still no land. 26 lands. Like, this is not what I expected. We'll discard the Arcane Adaptation. We still have a couple more. Uneshes. Like we have all the big stuff. We have to start drawing land, right? I don't know. Maybe he said something about it in his video. I don't remember him saying exactly what they were for. Okay, so well, we hit a land. Do we let him play like Rogue Refiner next turn? Hydra? He's stuck on lands too. We're just gonna get this out now. And we'll just click Sphinx. We're gonna pass the turn here. I hope we hit like runner land here. Well, I guess that would do. There's a Winding Constrictor, okay. So we'll get 2 energy for attacking. And a Champion of Wits. We have to do this. Come on, land. Yes. Alright, so we're going to pitch an Angel and pitch the other Arcane Adaptation. We will play the land and pass the turn. So we can't block the Glint Sleeve Siphoner here, but if we can survive just a few more turns. Do we just block here? I think so. Okay, so we've got 3 more swings. Okay, so he's gonna add to the board. Sure. Okay, double white would have been nice here. Definitely think the deck needs a few planes. We need 1 more land off the top. Well, we're just going to take 4 and just keep taking a beating, see what he does to us. I mean, if we don't hit a land off the top, then we're in some serious trouble. Yeah, there's a Scarab God. It's not going to do it. I don't have enough. 6 to embalm the angel. Okay, so he can get my angel back. Great. Wonder if he just gets his glint sleeve. Nope, he's gonna get my champion of wits. Of course he is. Alright, so we'll take the 1 and then we'll take the lethal. Yeah, that's just lethal, guys. Like We'll make him swing and do it. Well, that's what we've got. So, alright, well, the deck played really well, and if you watch Dev's deck tech, he mentions that, you know, the deck feels like there's something there. 100% feels. I think the deck is definitely buildable. Like, you should. It definitely needs more of the community to play with it and see if we can come up with something there. But there might be a strategy with the Sphinxes. I don't necessarily know. It felt very strong. Also, remember, if you rent your cards after you're done playing with them, turn them back in. I have made the mistake and just burned through my mana hours before, so play your cards, turn them back in. So, looking at the deck itself, real quick before we go here, cards that I think underperform. I don't know if Glorybound Initiate's really what we want. In the game that we did play it, yeah, it was awesome. But I don't know. Glorybound is definitely probably the best 2-drop here. I don't know if the deck actually wants to be trying to counter main board. Maybe this is a sideboard tactic where it brings in counters and things. I don't really understand why there's not like I just don't know. I don't know what the deck's missing. I haven't really built around or played with it enough. None of the cards really stuck out. A lot of times I just really didn't want to be playing counter spells in the main. And I don't know if counter is the right way to protect this deck. Maybe Unesh needs to be a completely different color. Maybe we could try it in blue-red, or blue in any color, because you honestly, for the backbone of the deck, you only need blue, because that gives you the Arcane Adaptation, Unesh. You get Vizier of Many Faces, which I believe was an all-star in this deck, giving you multiple copies of Vizier and things of that or Unesh and things of that nature. I think Vizier is definitely an all-star, and you should probably look around with that. Maybe we don't need the Angels of Sanction. Maybe even something a little more aggro. If we went into red, I would look into Captain Lannery Storm immediately. Maybe. Maybe against red it is good. But if we went into like red, blue, or maybe even there's a Jeskai deck there that we could build around. So I had a lot of fun playing the deck. I think that everyone should kind of play around with it. Definitely add some planes. If you're going to upgrade the deck at all, yeah, I understand those hands where you have multiple Arcane Adaptations that you probably do or do not want. If you're going to drop any of these cards, maybe look into Strategic Planning or something like that, which allows you to dig 3 deep. I definitely think that is really nice. The Embalm deck runs like 16 creatures. That means we would actually want to put in like a Dorn Pouncer or something of that nature if we were just going to kind of throw this in the Embalm deck build. But I don't know. Some Sacred Cat. Sacred Cat would probably be really nice, giving us a 1-drop, something really cheap, so that you could turn 1 Sacred Cat, turn 2 Censor or something. Just depends on what build that you want to play. I do think that there's enough room in this deck for utility that you can keep the main engine, and that main engine being Champion of Wits and things of that nature. I actually think you want to probably go 4 Champion of Wits if you're going to go away from a budget. So let's say you have your Arcanes, your 4 Champion of Wits, 2 to 3 Viziers, and 3 Unesh. That leaves you a lot of room to build your deck around that. So play around with it. See what you guys can come up with, and just white for removal. So I kind of like that idea, but remember, with the Unesh combo, you do need a volume of creatures. Here we run 22 creatures, and that's a pretty good volume, so maybe run the white removal creatures, and whatever other color you use that for your... Oh wow, Esper would probably fit in really good here. Yeah, sorry, Nightbot doesn't have the deck tech for this one. But other than that, guys, I had a lot of fun playing it. I hope you had fun watching it. We'll see you next time here on the sideboard.